Hey dudes, it's Larold. We've been seeing a lot of complaints about Loot and Keepers League on Reddit lately. Also, the sky is blue and pizza tastes good. You know, some things never change. So we have a bit of news for you on that front, and we also have 3 strats that are all cheap and easy and fun. They're super simple, none of the scarabs involved cost more than like 3 chaos each at the time of recording. That could change, anything could change, of course, but whatever. So let's get into it, but first be sure to like and subscribe and join our Discord as well. Alright, let's start with the buffs that are coming, and kind of just talk a little bit about what's going on in Keepers League. We did just write a news post about this for PoE Vault. Basically, players ask for 3 things in Keepers League: asynchronous trade, better crafting, and less inflation, and we got all 3. We got exactly what we wanted, and those have contributed to average items being less valuable than ever before. I've probably picked up and sold fewer items in this league than, like, ever. The nerf to super high-end juicing strategies has resulted in fewer chaos and divine orbs sloshing around in the economy as well. There have been some other issues too. Breaches don't really generate a lot of drops, and they do generate a lot of resources for the Genesis tree, but that requires actually going to the tree to use it, so, you know, there's a bit of friction there too. Ultimately, what has happened is that when a normal player goes to trade a Divine Orb at Faustus, at the time in the league when it would normally be worth like 200 Chaos, instead it's only worth 100, and this has led to a sense that there is no loot, not enough loot. But that's not really true. If I look at my character, I feel like I have more gear now than I've ever had in week 1 of a league. I'm straight up blasting, right? The loot just isn't coming in the form of orbs. So with that all being said, GGG has some plans for making changes in the coming week, and they are going to buff several different things that, I mean, frankly, need it. And those would be the amount of drops coming from regular breaches. They're also going to fix the hive encounter walls not despawning when you start a hive encounter. That's going to be just a nice quality of life. A lot of those walls will get burned down without you having to actually walk around and touch them. And then they're going to do some stuff. They haven't really given a lot of details on what, but some stuff to fix the state of map juicing in the high end. This was the level of detail that they gave us. We have a list of adjustments to address this. They're putting it together. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the 3 strategies that we've been running, and the first is Maven Rotas, and I do have a PoE planner URL for this. I have a whole spreadsheet here, and recommendations on some maps, the map device option. We'll put in a video link once this video is uploaded. And then we also have some scarab recommendations. So this is the first thing that we ran. We ran a lot of this on stream, and this is the basic setup. You don't need 132 points for it, but it doesn't hurt. Basically, any like leftover points that you have, you're going to be putting into scarabs, but mostly what you're looking for is to do destructive play and then run guardian map sets. So that can take several different forms, and I have a bunch of them in my tabs here. This tab, that would be like Elder Slayer Guardians. Those are the best ones. They're also the most expensive. Or Elder Guardians, Conqueror, or whatever, Shaper Guardians. You know, those all 3 work, and you can kind of bounce back and forth between all 3 of those, primarily because of this pair of scarabs right here. Influencing Scarab of Conversion allows you to make, I think it's a 20-25% chance for all of the maps that drop in a given map to drop either as Shaper, Elder, Conqueror, or Synth maps, and you can actually see when you hit like tab when you're in an area. If you hit tab, it will say one of those 4, Shaper or Elder or Conqueror or unique Synth maps, and if it's Conquerors, you probably should clear the map out, because those maps are worth, at least at time of recording, like 9 or 10 chaos each. So if you could pull like 5, 6, 8 of those in a single map, you know, you're looking at like half a divine. That's pretty good for just killing some regular guys. Then we take all of the things that Destructive Play synergizes with. You know, if you full clear the map, which you don't have to, you are basically just boss rushing in this strategy, but some of these maps, like Shaper Guardian maps, the boss rush is a long hallway through all of the mobs in the map, right? But if you boss rush, you'll get maybe 1 extra boss, potentially up to 3, and all of the things that apply to the final map boss in a map also apply to those bosses. So bonuses that aren't normally that great in most strategies get a massive multiplier, up to 4 times more power. We're talking things like Chittering Champions giving you more scarabs, or Conquered Conquerors giving you more Conqueror maps, Remnants of the Past giving you more Elder and Shaper Guardian maps, and of course Vivid Memories giving you more Synth maps. Maybe you get lucky and you get a bunch of smugglers' caches in your map, and then you can get some revealed blueprints and sell those for like quite a bit. Even non-revealed blueprints can sell. Contracts are a little harder to sell, so if you're not enjoying heist, you're not a heist fan, don't bother with that aspect of it. You can do whatever you want. Shrines are also in here just to make it like fun and fast. Other than that, it's pretty much just scarabs and maps, baby. And then, of course, there are tons of other rewards that you can get out of doing Maven. You can get all of the different Maven scarabs, or Maven chisels, rather, many of which I've already sold tons of, and some of which can be quite valuable. You really only require 2 scarabs, but you can throw in more, like, domination scarabs if you want, just to make it faster. That's pretty much all that's really going on with this as a farm strategy. Occasionally you'll get awakened gems out of killing stuff that the Maven is witnessing. You will get Maven's writs out of doing Maven invitations, and you can sell those pretty easily. I've just been kind of hand to mouth with all of that sort of thing. I did self-find a couple of the awakened gems that I'm using, though, in particular this awakened void manipulation, which was nice. This is a very fun and fast strategy, big fan. Alright, the next 2 strategies are fairly similar to each other in terms of the tree, but they actually play very differently, and those would be Strongboxes first, and then Red Altar Shrine farming second. So we'll start with the Strongboxes. This was everyone's favorite, right? And we're doing budget Strongboxing, so you can use 3 ambush scarabs, 1 hidden compartments, and then 1 influencing scarab of hordes, because we are doing red altars. And so we're doing everything we can to take minion modifiers from the red altars. So you want a boss rush on whatever map you're running. You could do any map you like, but Dunes is a good one to choose from. And something that is kind of out of the ordinary for our standard setup is that Dunes actually had its baseline div cards reworked this league, and GGG didn't mention that, but Fortunate is back on being a Dunes baseline card, and it actually is not a baseline card from Mesa. I have scried it over to Mesa, so that's cool, but Mesa actually does not have Fortunate as a baseline card, so bear that in mind. In terms of the rest of the tree, you're pretty much doing standard Strongbox stuff. You can take Shrines if you want with any extra points. We always recommend Shrines whenever possible, but mostly you're just trying to get as many Scarabs and as many rewards from the Strongboxes as you can. Strongbox Scarabs are pretty cheap for just basic ambush Scarabs. I think I don't have any in my map device at the moment, but here we go. Like a bunch of ambush Scarabs, and then hidden compartments gives you a chance to reopen all your Strongboxes. So discernment and containment Scarabs are quite a lot more expensive. Those are much higher investment strategy options, but just doing basic Strongboxes, ambush Scarabs only cost about 3 chaos, roughly. So you only need to make like 1 chaos per Strongbox. That's pretty easy to do. Also, running ambush on the map device is 4 chaos, and it gives you 4 Strongboxes, so again, 1-to-1, but it also gives you increased chance to find ambush Scarabs. You can multiply that with this bonus in the tree. It does stack. I guess it's additive, but still, it stacks with trapping carapaces, so you're going to get a lot of ambush Scarabs. I've probably found more containment Scarabs, which sell for quite a lot, than I have raw divines doing this strategy, and that's a good thing. They're worth a ton. Then the third strategy is, like I said, somewhat similar, but actually quite different in the way that you do it, and that would be a Red Altar Shrine maxing strategy. We're using Influencing Scarab of Hordes, once again, to get as many Red Altar monsters into our maps as possible. We are taking Red Altar minion bonuses to get as many Chaos Orbs and Cartographer's Chisels and Gem Cutter's Prisms and Glass Blowers Baubles, just sort of random low-value currency out of Searing Exarch minions. Then we're taking all of the Shrine nodes, and we're using a combination of Monstrous Lineage Scarabs to give magic pack size. I could show those off. Those are currently in the map device here, 40% magic pack size, and you can get 2. That's an enormous amount of pack size, and it stacks with Influencing Scarab of Hordes. And then we're using the actually kind of buffed Evolving Shrine. So this got a big change from last league, where it is a 25% chance now when you kill an enemy while you have this buff active to upgrade them to the next tier. They'll go from normal to magic or magic to rare. But then they have a very, very, very low chance of going from normal to magic to rare, right? You basically only get 1 upgrade. Well, previously the chance was 10, so with it now being 25%, if you go kill a pack of magic monsters that might have like 40 guys in it, now you have 10 rares coming out of that. This is one of the strongest rare printing mechanics that we've ever worked with at any point. It is generating massive numbers of rare packs of monsters, just like tons and tons and tons of rare monsters, and they are throwing massive amounts of gold, which you can then use in King's March to make tons of currency through shipping crops if you'd like, or just simply for like having to trade. That's also useful. It's also giving a ton of XP. It's just a very fun strategy. You are just blasting through walls of monsters so that you are just killing very quickly. You also get tons and tons and tons of maps. Tier 16.5s and tier 17s have been some of the biggest selling items in this strategy. This is why we're running dunes in both of these setups. If you get a tier 17 to drop, you do want it to be fortress. That's worth about half a divine. And in doing this, like yesterday evening, I had plenty of maps where I had like multiple fortress maps drop in a single map, and yeah, you're basically walking out of a map with a divine, essentially. Asynchronous trade has really helped with selling maps. That is kind of one of the big advantages that system has provided, even though it's caused some deflation in terms of being able to sell ground loot. The ability to instantly sell maps is exceptional. So these are the 3 strategies that we recommend thus far if you're trying to farm a lot more currency on a budget, especially if you are, getting your void stones and like kind of pushing into in-game maps now, feeling a little poor. This is a great way to get yourself a bunch of currency very cheaply. We are going to work on some more high budget strategies moving forward into the league, and hopefully the buffs that come next week are going to help those be a lot more profitable. Alright, that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and join the Skipping Sleep Studio Discord and become part of our community. And finally, thank you to all of our channel members. If you want to support us and help us make more PoE content, become a channel member or come boost the Discord. Thanks for watching. Bye.